Hi, I'd like to show you a little bit more about GCSE Geology and hopefully answer some of the questions you might have about the course. Obviously, I'm a massive fan of the subject. I hope my students will grow to love it as much as I do. If I explain a little bit about how the course works, we follow the EDUCAS GCSE Geology syllabus, and I've divided the course up into two parts. And within those two parts, there are 15 different, I call them themes. Each of them deals with a different topic of the course. This is what I call the course map for the first part of the course. This details what we do and roughly when we should be getting to the different points of the course. We start in year 9 with a skills unit and then develop that through the course content as we work through to about Easter of year 10 for the end of part 1. If we look a little bit more closely at the course, there are some key features of the course. There's no coursework involved. It's entirely examined by 2 exams, one practical exam and one theory exam that's done online at the end of year 11. There are no essays to write as part of the course, and the whole course really is focused very much on problem solving. Let me show you a little bit about this course map. This is the section of the course map that we're working on in the spring term of year 9. The course map details what we do. We have the theme that we're following. We have links to the course specification. We have a homework activity for each theme. And then there's also some suggestions to extend the work that we do in class. At the end of each theme, there's an assessment, we call it a challenge, where the students get to review what they've learned within that theme in the style of a GCSE questions. Part 2 of the course then develops these ideas in a little bit more detail. You'll see as well the black and white boxes on this. This details things like the location of fieldwork to support the exam learning and also some pre-public exams. All students get a copy of the course map. Let me show you though how we actually go about teaching these individual themes. These are the teaching materials used for the first half of the GCSE Geology course. All the students' work is done in these booklets. A student's given these at the start of each topic. They're colour-coded, so we work our way through the spectrum, so students find it very easy to organise and file their work and to see where it all fits in. The first half of the course is really devoted to understanding the key aspects of geology, the real basics of the science. So we start with theme 0 in 2 parts called A Journey of Discovery, where we start to develop some of the geological skills of observation, deduction, measurement, understand something about the different scales that we work at. We then move on to theme 1, which we start to develop the understanding of the basic geological concepts, like time, an idea called uniformitarianism, the rate at which geological processes operate. Theme 2 that we work on through the spring term of year 9 is all about space geology, how we can interpret the formation and development of the moon and Mars, and also a bit about how the Earth works. Theme 3 looks at minerals, the building blocks of rocks, and how they form, and how we can find useful and valuable ones. Theme 4 is split into 2 parts. We'll study sedimentary rocks and how we use sedimentary rocks then as stores of water or hydrocarbons. Theme 5 looks at igneous rocks and volcanoes. Theme 6 looks at metamorphic rocks. And we finish part 1 of the course by looking at plate tectonics. Part 2 of the course starts to develop those ideas in a bit more detail. We look at geological hazards, timing, fossils, climate change, the effects of deformation on rocks, and we finish with a heavily skills-based unit looking at geological maps. Each of these booklets is written specifically for the course. The booklets are designed to have students learning as actively as possible and as much as possible to be solving geological problems. So there's all sorts of data given to students. This particular exercise gets students to work out the size of the Earth from first principles. We look at meteorites and what meteorites can tell us about the Earth. But by using these booklets, it means that we spend no time in class making notes. All the time in class is spent thinking through problems and trying to solve geological problems and employing the skills we're trying to develop as geologists to understand how our planet and other planets, in this case the moon, actually work. For each of these booklets, to assist students who may need a little bit more support, there is a toolkit attached to the booklet. This provides a whole series of hints and tips for students to be able to access the questions that are asked. For some activities, there'll be a bit more structure given in the form of an additional form of the data that's stuck in to the booklet to help them. For students who need more of a challenge, very often within these activities, there'll be what's called a digging deeper activity, something that will stretch the students that little bit further, to make them think a little bit more about what they've just been working on. For even more challenge, there are some additional extension activities written for each of these themes. Teaching of geology in class is also supported by the GCSE Geology YouTube channel that's run in the school to give video lessons, revision materials, and an extra way of engaging students with the course content. This has been used fairly heavily during lockdown to provide lessons for students and full explanations of some of the ideas we're covering. All the teaching for GCSE Geology is done by me. We have a room dedicated to geology, and within that room, we have some very good teaching collections of minerals, of rocks, of fossils. We have microscopes. We have all the materials we need to effectively teach the subject well. We have good links with local university courses and also local employers of geologists. Geology can be the start of an interest for life. It can also be the first step to some really quite amazing careers. If we think about the pathways then that GCSE geologists follow, after uh, success at GCSE, the results in GCSE geology are very good indeed. We exceed averages for particularly the number of higher grades that students achieve. Uh, they can move on to A level. At A level, uh, we then have a record of, in the last 10 years, over 75 students from Cowbridge have gone on to study geology or related courses at university. Of those, about 2/3 of those students have studied geology at Russell Group universities. There's a huge range of careers available to geologists. I have ex-students who work in environmental geoscience, in monitoring hazards, in engineering geology, in exploration and mining geology, as well as our common career outcomes. I even have an ex-student who works assessing gemstones for their quality and value. One of those ex-students is Harry. Harry came into school to tell us about his career and also some of his friends. This is his graduating class from 2009, and these are the range of careers that they're currently involved in. You can see that geological skills opens a whole incredible range of exciting and adventurous careers for students who go for it. These are two of my ex-students. Um, this is Marcus with his boss, Lauren, both of whom passed through the geology department here at Cowbridge and now earn a living hunting for gold in Western Australia. So, geology can be a subject which leads to a passion, an interest, good qualifications, and a very rewarding career. If you want to know more, please contact me here at school. I look forward to seeing you in September.